The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
You are listening to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with a sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Sports Network. Listen in as Brent and Dave invite you to belly up to the bar with them to talk about everything in the world of sports, just like you would do at your favorite watering hole. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans, so belly up to the bar with us, grab a beverage, and let's get into it.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer sports talk and a whole lot more. Episode number 388 on this 4th day of April 2024. Tonight's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com. The SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase over there at SeatGeek. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all the great sports articles and other podcasts, such as my guys over there at Craft Brewed Sports. And Scott's got his own side show going on Monday nights, all baseball show, the Backwards Case Sport baseball podcast. Great show, lots of great information there. Entertaining as always. Scott's always got a lot of screaming hot takes. It's always good to listen to him. And thank you to everybody who listens to our show on a daily basis, whether it be on a podcast form or on YouTube. And if you have a chance to subscribe to our YouTube channel when you get a chance, it just helps the show out and things we're trying to accomplish. Dave, Easter weekend come and went. We thought the sun was shining, and so was I. And now, well, fuck, we wake up this morning and again.
Hello, hello, snow. We need the moisture. We live in an agricultural hub, part of the nation where the farmers really do depend on this kind of moisture. So I am happy for them, but fuck enough. Okay, no more snow. Didn't have to shovel. It's warm enough. All the sidewalks swept themselves. Mother Nature melted it with that heat, the residual heat. But snow's a bit of a drag. It makes things messy. And I'd prefer. I'm messy enough without Mother Nature throwing some added mess into my life, if that makes sense.
No, I agree. Like, we almost had beautiful Spit Stadium ready for play. The guy, actually, one of the teams was practicing on there yesterday. Like, hey, no, fuck, nope. Like, it's like the way baseball fields work now. Like, every day that it snows, you're 4 days away from being ready to go. Right. And so it's like, it's going to snow again tomorrow. So we're 4 more days and 4 more days. Like, what?
Well, exactly. Yeah. Jasper, his team was going to have their first outdoor practice tonight. Nope. So
yeah. So it's just
maybe Monday, if it doesn't snow, and it's like, there's a 60% chance of snow and or rain tomorrow. And yeah. And like you say, unless it blows or it's sunny, it's damp for a little bit around these parts. It gets muddy so quick.
It's a bit of a drag, but it's one of those things. It's and we're old, so we have nothing else to talk about. Good show, Dave. I'll see you on Monday night.
Yep. Hopefully it's sunny.
Anyways, Dave, we got a little backlash. I think like I said before, I don't listen to our show very often, and most of the stuff that comes out of my yap and your yap, we don't take much for it. We just hope that we throw enough shit in the wall, something's bound to stick. But apparently we got the ire up of old level of playing field Dave on Monday night when Aaron was on the show. Was talking about Mike Trout. He was a little unhappy with the guys at not the guys at 1420, but me and Aaron. He was a little bit upset, old Davey boy out there in Ontario.
Well, Dave has runs a little hot from what we know and listening to his podcast, and I even put that out on the Twitter machine. First time ever we've been podcast friends for probably 2 or 3 years now. And it's usually me that gets his goat, but I'm glad it was someone else. And then I was on the same side as Dave for a change. And that gave me a little bit of a smile that him and I could find some common ground and not blame Mike Trout for all Angels issues.
No, yeah, he I'm glad I don't live across the street from old Davey boy there, because he probably would have come across and slit my throat, though the hothead that he might be. Yeah,
I don't think he's slit your throat. He just grab you by the neck and throw you to the ground. He looks to be a big man.
Yeah, well, and I'm not. right? And like he would, like, truth be told, I'm a bit of a pussy. Like I'm freakishly strong, but if at any point somebody threatens any harm to my frail little Monty Burns looking body, there's a good chance that I'm going to cower away.
Yeah, but you're fast. You can run.
Oh, and sneaky.
Yeah,
the whole bit, all of it.
Yeah. It's not like you don't have good 40 speed. You got good 20 speed.
That's right.
Yeah,
and
that's all you need to run to your door.
And years of hard living, the duration isn't going to be there very long. So
no. 20. Yeah. That's all you need is 20 meters. Get in the house, lock the door.
That's it.
And then give him the finger. Yeah, through the front window.
Through the window. and then turn the lights off and look through the upstairs window. Is he still there?
Through the Venetians, right?
Open him up a little bit. Is he still there? Oh no, Dave. We'll have to have him back on the show because he gets riled up and he's very quiet. But as soon as you get him a little bit riled up, he goes off. I love it because their shows they're a lot of fun to listen to. I listen to them all the time, so it's a lot of fun to listen to.
And it's funny, like, so him and John's much more mild mannered than all of us. But he lets Dave get away with the C sharps. But we got old sound man Jim who bleeps out a C sharp every time I try and slip one past the sensors.
So it went back to the old goalie after some time. Anyways, Dave, last night she was old school hockey at Madison Square Garden. 2 seconds in. Devils, Rangers, rivalry, Battle of the Hudson, whatever they call it down there. Right off the bat, it was obviously it was predetermined that this was all going to happen. Blind brawl right at the bat. 5 guys aside were dropping the mitts and letting her go, and every fight to a man. Like some were better than others, but there wasn't much hugging and holding and grappling in those tilts last night. If you didn't know what was going on, you would think it was back in 1987, not even 1997, what was happening last night at the Garden. It was fun to watch the highlight reels and everything else, because I wasn't watching the game last night. But once you saw the highlights and then with all the people were revved up on Twitter today, like that was that was fun to watch.
And to listen to the crowd, like the first, I didn't hear it, I heard it. I was listening to another podcast. For the same thing, saying like this is old time hockey, and like then they said the exact same thing you did. We're not asking for a return to Broad Street Bullies, but this was kind of fun last night. 2 teams going out there, everybody like there was no fake tough guy shit. This isn't and the bench is clear on any kind of Major League Baseball thing, because don't show me that shit. Because it's just guys pointing and pushing back, and a lot of
nothing more anticlimactic than when benches clear in baseball.
Oh, all that fake tough guy bullshit. That was not fake tough guy bullshit last night. The gloves were on the ice and knuckles were being chucked, and it was cool.
You wonder how that conversation came about, because now in the age of text messages and emails, like this is like it's not back in '87 when guys just generally hated each other. They would give the nod during warm up. You wonder how this all came about last night, because it was obviously predetermined, like whether it happened in warm up where it got predetermined, or whether it was during something that happened between the 2 coaches. You put your 5 out there, I'll put my 5 out there, and then we'll be done with it. Like you wonder how the conversation came about for it to happen, because you don't. Back in the day, it used to be a nod during the pregame warm up between the 2 teams when teams are skating around, or late in the game there was the coaches would go yeah and do that. So you wonder, because these guys play hockey, because elite guys nowadays, they play hockey against each other so much from the time they're 5 years old to the time they're in National Hockey League. These guys know each other, like some more personally than others, but they know each other too. Like they're 1 degree of separation away from each other, if that makes any sense. Like if Sidney Crosby wants to get a hold of a rookie, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, right? He just texts someone else on the team and says,
hey, do you know this guy's number? Yeah, here you go.
Give me his digits, yeah.
So you wonder if there was something that went on behind the scenes to make this all happen.
Well, the way I understand it, I believe it's similar to Major League Baseball, where you have to hand in your starting lineup, because in hockey, the starting lineup is the only lineup that gets gets announced, right?
Mhm.
And then so
And those five guys for each team have to start.
Correct. And I'm assuming that the visiting team has to hand in theirs first. And so New Jersey being the visiting team, New Jersey being eliminated for the playoffs, they had high hopes going into the season. It didn't work out. They fired their coach. And now they're playing out the stretch. The Rangers are a rival, and now they're in Madison Square Garden, and Rangers are playing for a number one seed. And the coach, hey, we're going to send a message tonight. We're not here to be pushed around. This is not going to be an easy 2 points. And then also there was that history with Rempel not wanting to fight.
The elbow a couple weeks back.
Yeah. And not wanting to fight the Jersey tough guy. And so when the Rangers saw that the tough guy, and they're putting all the tough guys out there, he probably said, okay, Rempel, let's do it in front of the home. Yep, we're doing it in front of the home crowd. You ready, big boy? And he said yes, because of all the fights, that was the first one to start, and that was the last one to finish. Like those guys must have been fucking tired.
That was in the days of in the voice of Eddie Whalen. That was a ring-a-ding-dong dandy. There's no getting around that, because they went like between the blue lines. They were all over the ice fighting. And yeah, like if you're really gonna get into like fighting in hockey, it's tiring. Like it's you're on skates and they're like you got a great big man tugging you around. Those guys, they're in shape, and it's a tough gig. And they fought for a minute and a half at least, and it doesn't, like, a minute and a half doesn't seem like fuck all, but Jesus, man. When you got a guy pulling you around on ice, adrenaline going,
and punching you in the face,
you must go like just like from one, because the crowd gets you revved up before the game starts and the opening things and all of it, and then when she's go time, so like it must be just like from one level of like, this is awesome, to like, holy fuck, am I tired? Like the tire might not hit till about 10, like when they get out of the penalty box, and Mr. like, oh, now the adrenaline's wore off. I'm beat, man.
I'm beat. But could you imagine being that Rempel kid, like 21 years old? What now? Maybe 20 games into the league, and you're in Madison Square Garden fighting this guy off the opening face-off, and the crowd is chanting your name. Yeah. That's a dream come true. Like, I don't know how much he's getting paid, but he's gonna. I hope he's able to remember that when he's 60.
Well, you think how many? Well, we talked about that a few weeks back with all, like, he has been taking on all comers, and it's like all the stuff that we've seen over the past the decade or so. It's been with guys, CTE and everything else. So yeah, like you said, you hope that he remembers what's going on. Like because people in New York, they love their hometown heroes, right? So there's got to be a lot of Rempel jerseys kicking around Madison Square Garden, and Mustang Harry's right next door. Great bar before any event at Madison Square Garden. Fantastic spot. There's got to be thousands of these Rempel jerseys kicking around New York right now. Got it
for sure. And then on that flip side, right? He's probably getting paid league minimum, but when he goes out, he doesn't touch his wallet. Everybody wants to buy that guy a beer or a steak or whatever. People are going to comp him a meal. He's the local hero right now, and it'd be pretty cool to be a 21-year-old kid being the cock of the walk of New York City right now.
No kidding. Like, especially when the Rangers have an actual shot at winning a cup this year, and I don't want to say he's the face of the franchise, but he'll be on a few billboards and a few buses across New York City right now. I think it's pretty cool. And the way the rivalry works out with the Devils, like they've had a long-standing rivalry. Remember back in '94, and it goes
Bernie Nichols and Messier.
94 Messier, when Messier guaranteed that win, Marty Brodeur, and on it goes. And the 94 they won the cup, and the Devils were quite successful through the 90s, and rivalries were great back then in that with that team. But the good thing about a rivalry like that is that both teams are relevant, right? Like there is a Rangers Islanders rivalry, but the Islanders have been basically shitty for a long time. So rivalries, if both teams are good in the city, but it doesn't transcend to the rest of the country or to our two countries. Rivalries are great when both teams are relevant.
It doesn't matter how many times you play in the season, right? Because, Calgary Edmonton used to be the best rivalry in sports, but they haven't met in the playoffs in, I want to say, 30 fucking years. It's been forever since those teams met in the playoffs, and it was every year, and both teams were good. And that's when rivalries are just cemented. And just like, I hate that fucking team because you're seeing each other in the playoffs year after year after year. And then, in hockey, Boston, like Montreal, Toronto, Montreal, Boston, because those teams are always in the playoffs. They haven't met in the
Boston
playoffs.
back in the 80s. It was vicious.
You bet.
Montreal, Quebec, Nordiques, vicious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, Calgary, Edmonton, I think 91, was the last time they met in the playoffs. I think I'm not 100% positive, but I think like those ones and then the more recent ones to my memory was Yankees, Red Sox. And even like, you're not a Yankee guy or a Red Sox guy, but that was intense shit.
Those buildings.
And that brought people who weren't even fans of either team to tune in, because you didn't know what you're going to get.
It was intense, and it was fake intensity almost until the coming back from 3-0, right? It was always like, what are you going to do about it? Like, Yankee fan owned Boston fan. There was nothing like, see it. Like, it's been 89 years. We'll see you next year, and we'll knock your ass out of the playoffs in the 90th year. Yeah. It wasn't that, but when Boston won, it became so intense in those years. And because a rivalry can't really exist if one team owns the other team. If you never win, then all you have to do is say scoreboard and then remember last year. And that's kind of how it was even with Edmonton and Calgary. Even though Calgary got their cup, they didn't have to beat Edmonton to win that cup back in the day. So playoff success against someone you see all the time, that's when the hate becomes entrenched and real. With you don't and regardless of being a fan or not, you honestly don't know who's going to win the game when you go to the rink.
That's the one thing that I not dislike, but it's the one thing that free agency's taken away from sport is rivalries. Because there was like when you were drafted a Canadian, you were just not a Canadian, but a Montreal Canadian. When you were drafted by the Montreal Canadiens, you were just taught to learn to hate the Boston Bruins. When you're born and raised a Yankee, you just hated the Red Sox. And now with people changing and Calgary, Edmonton back in the day, or whoever you might be, like, you were taught to hate those franchises, those opposing franchises, not just the fan bases, but also the players. And that's what made rivalries great. And free agency's really taken away from that.
I agree with that. But what I will say is that the fan bases don't change. And that's why meeting your rival in the playoffs really means something, because now we're not talking about 2 points. Now we're talking about playing for the ring. And you want it bad, and you're as bad as you want it on the ice, your fans in the crowd might even want it more. Yeah. And the adrenaline and energy they're giving to you, you develop a little bit of a hate for the team you're playing, the team that's across the ice from you, especially if that team that you're playing is a team that your fan base hates and that has realized success recently at your expense. Like, the series I'm looking forward to this year in the NHL, it's going to be the Oilers in Vegas. That might be a first round matchup. The way it sits right now, I don't know how much intensity the Vegas fans have, but I do know Oilers fans are going to be really fucking nervous to see Vegas in the first round, and they're going to bring all the hate they can to those games.
I remember quite vividly now, we were talking before Jay Woodcroft got fired a week and a half in, or 2 weeks, whatever it was, into the season. I'm glad you mentioned that, Dave, that Jesus Christ. Like, you look at that Oilers, they went on a 16-game winning streak, wherever it was, and they've been lights out ever since. But because they stumbled out of the blocks like they did, they have a date with the Stanley Cup champions in the first round. That's why getting out of the gate is so important, because fuck me. Like, there's some good teams, and the way the NHL has their playoff set up, I think I don't like it a whole bunch, but it's just what it is. You're not going to change it. But the Oilers have a date with the Stanley Cup champions, and there's a good chance they're going home again.
I would put it at 50-50, even though they're going to have home ice probably. And you talk about that slow start, they go 500, and then now they're in first place instead of the Vancouver Canucks right now. And then they would get to play the Kings or Nashville, which, you know, and
Nashville's well, we talked last week. Nashville's my team this year.
There is no cakewalk. In fact, the team I probably want to play is Winnipeg, because they once
fumbling right now.
Yeah, but like, that's not what we're talking about right now. It's Vegas, Edmonton are turning into a rivalry now, because I think this will be the third third time in 4 years they're going to see each other in the playoffs. So it's going to be cool, and I can't believe two teams this fucking good are going to have to see each other in the first round of the playoffs. It's actually it's going to be a shame to see one of those teams out of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
You know, and then you look at the second round, like, if it all works out, there's going to be 4 Canadian teams in the playoffs this year. In the second round, 2 of them are going to face each other. So if Vancouver wins and Edmonton wins, one of those teams is out, right? So it's funny how it all works
without upsets, because they do get reseeded, I believe. It's not
something
a
like that. Yeah, it's just crazy. But if you talk about these rivalries and how the fan bases are more involved now, more so than the players are. Do you think that you kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier, but do you think that these players appreciate the fans' passion a little bit? Because throughout the season, you're like, oh, whatever, we're just playing here. It's another stop in the road of life for me. But when a fan base gets a little bit involved, do you think that they get these players revved up a little bit?
Oh, I'm sure it does, especially when it comes down to the short strokes of the regular season, when teams are playing for seeds or even trying to make it. Like I was waiting for us to start tonight. I was watching Penguins Caps. Caps are in a chance. Like, who figured? They're not a good team. They got a chance to make the playoffs. Pittsburgh's been out. I don't know if they're technically eliminated, but they don't have a chance. They're not going to make the playoffs. Pittsburgh's in Washington and thumped them tonight, 4-1. They were up 3-0 when I started watching, and you don't think that gives Penguins a charge to hurt Washington's playoff chances? Because that was a rivalry 6-7 years ago.
Crosby Ovechkin's been a rivalry since they both came to the league 18 years ago. Ever been.
You bet. And you know, and then that became a rivalry because Penguins kept winning and their cups, and pretty much every time they would bump into Washington in the playoffs and send Washington packing.
That's got to be something still for Crosby. Like, he did not play. You're never playing for nothing. You're playing for pride. But playing for nothing as a team, like, Crosby must have had a night tonight before he's not a vocal guy from where all stories told around the locker room, but he must have had one of those, maybe once every 10 games where Crosby stands up and says something before the game and says, okay, boys, we've been fucking these guys for 15 years. Let's fuck them again.
Let's do it again. We got nothing left. They're playing for something. We don't. Let's play for something tonight and send that fucking Ruski packing.
Let's do something tonight and let's have some fun and fuck their night. That's all we're playing for now, is to fuck people's nights.
Yeah.
Let's make them beat us. Don't give this away.
Yeah, and I think that would be an important part for leaders on a team. Like, when you know you can't win every year, and obviously you want to make the playoffs, but this game's going to mean more than the one they play against Anaheim tomorrow. And that's the same thing with New Jersey going to New York. Like, you know, New York, the Rangers are on a bit of a heater. They have a chance at the number 1 seed. We're fucked. But let's let them know they're going to have a fucking game tonight, and let's try and hand them their lunch. And it was the Rangers won that game 4-3, but New Jersey came and said, "It ain't going to be fucking easy, boys. We're gonna come out swinging, literally and figuratively," and they gave them a game.
Because it would be easy to fucking mail her in right now. You've already got your travel plans booked. Like the season ends, I think a week or a week and a half tonight, kind of deal, and it's just over and that's it. And then you already have your fucking bags packed, and your wife's already down, got things ready to go. It'd be easy to mail it in right now. It really.
Oh,
is.
For sure. Because if that was
if it was, that's probably why I never made it. Like if I had 6 sheets in the bank. I'm not getting hurt because I have a vacation planned. I'm Bill Doran from fucking from Major League. I got this. Like, here's my contract. I ain't getting hurt because I got a nice vacation plan, and it don't matter. You've already.
I'm getting paid. Yeah,
I got my last check already paid.
I got shit to do, and there's no way I want to be fucking popping Percocets because I have a broken 3 broken bones.
I already gave you 8 months. Look where we are.
Yeah. There's my fucking line total. I pulled my weight, so fuck your hat if you think I'm going to go out there and start swinging. And it makes you wonder, like a team like the Flames, who's always been, in contention and when I say licking the jar for the playoffs, right? Those guys, after they were talking about it on the Barn Burner podcast 3 weeks ago, they were 1 point out of the playoffs.
And now they're 3 games under 500.
And now they're fucked, right? So what's Evander Kane and Huberdeau going to do? Not Evander Kane, sorry. Nazem Kadri and Huberdeau and all the other good players, right? Like, we're trying out kids and doing stuff, but like, fuck that. I'm not fucking fighting anymore. And what do you do if you're Markstrom? Just you want to see what Wolf is? Like, let's play him all the time. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I'm not gonna win the Vezina. I had a hell of a fucking year. And we're not going anywhere. So let me fucking put my feet up and you guys figure out what you're going to do in net, because you're probably going to trade me right fucking now come draft day.
Fuck, man. That's shitty for guys who, I mean, not so much for Huberdeau because he seems to be all intent and purpose a piece of shit. But and he had a shitty season again, 46 points, whatever it's going to be, and
at $10.5
million bucks, and I think we beat that guy up on our show, let alone their podcast. But fuck, man, that's got to be shitty. No one if you're a competitor, and Huberdeau's not, but if you're a competitor and you signed a long-term deal because you thought the team had something, or someone signed you because nobody else would. What is it? Right.
Well, I don't know.
Because the thing is that you only have max 10 years nowadays, maybe 12. And so I burned up a year. There's got to be some fucking intellectual, what do you call it? Intellectual honesty, where you go, well, there's another year of my fucking career done. Like there's got to be a few guys who, and right around the league, we'll get back to what we were talking about earlier, but there's got to be a lot of guys in their second contracts, year 8, year 9 of their careers, who are going, well, I guess I'll play a couple more years and put some more money in the bank, and that's it. There's got to be a lot of guys right now thinking that. And in every sport, not basketball, because you play 1 year, you get $40 million. Not all of them, but there's got to be a ton of guys coming in the end of the National Hockey League season and they're saying, well, I guess I'm just padding my bank account now because the rest of it doesn't even matter. I ain't winning a cup where I am.
Yeah, I get it.
It's got to be a shitty feeling.
It has to be a shitty feeling. But I like on someone like that, like let's talk about Markstrom, right? Because he signed with Calgary with a chance to do it. And that's like he signed when they had Tkachuk and Gaudreau, right? So shit went sideways for that franchise that the GM had no control over and Markstrom had no control over, right? Markstrom played a couple good years. Yeah. But last year, Markstrom makes, honestly, 8 more saves over the course of all his starts, and Calgary, it might be a 3rd seed. So, I'm not going to feel sorry for Jacob Markstrom. Sure, you had a wicked fucking year with a shitty fucking team. Hello, Roberto Luongo. That's what you did in Florida all the fucking time. And then you did what you and Aaron want Mike Trout to. He left Florida, came to Vancouver to be the man to win a cup. And you know what he did? He spit the fucking bit and cost Vancouver a cup.
Well, he got close. He got close. He would have been in Florida.
Yeah, but like, how many rings does he have? Same amount.
Same as Mike Trout. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then it was. I can make an argument, and I have made it before. Vancouver does not have a ring because of Roberto Luongo, because he couldn't play on the road. He fucking sucked on the road.
Well, he had issues and grievances. No getting around that. Yeah.
Well, there you go. And and same with Jacob Markstrom. When teams were asking about him, they asked him to move his no trade. And I don't know, these are all rumblings that you hear that he was kind of got his nose bent out of shape a little bit because he was possibly going to New Jersey and then he's not. And now he doesn't know if he wants to stay. Well, you know what, fuckface? You make those eight saves last year and we're in the playoffs. And that's with shitty Huberdeau. So, go fuck your hat. And then maybe Darryl Sutter still has a job and they're not trading off pieces. But, you show me a good goalie, I'll show you a good coach. It's one of your phrases. And last year, Markstrom was not a good goalie. He was ridiculously overpaid last year. And now that he has a good year and he's a little bit butthurt because they're thinking about trade him, go fuck yourself. Fuck off.
You know what? I don't understand why guys get butthurt about getting traded because unless you have a no trade, you're going to get traded. If you're an upper echelon player, if your team doesn't have a hope in hell of winning and you don't have a no trade, you're getting traded. Because teams are like, well, we didn't make it. Let's rebuild. Because the fans call for it. The fans are like, well, let's get rid of this guy, that guy. Talk shows call for it. Everything else. Like these guys who get butthurt because they run the trade block. You sign a contract to play in the National Hockey League, not for a team. Yes, you make a commitment and a team makes a commitment to you. But unless you have a full no movement deal, you only signed a contract to play in the league. And that's it.
And that blows me away. I think, so a no move, like, okay, we're going to shave $500K a year off your salary then. Oh, I want to make this. Okay, then that's what we'll pay you, but there is no move. That's a valuable commodity, and that gives you a lot of power, and that's going to cost money because you're handcuffing us. How about we put in this? Okay, you got a no move clause, but if your numbers are this, we're going to put in a must trade clause. I must trade you. This is your career average, and we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt and blah, blah, blah. But if you drop below this thing, we're going to give you a must trade value.
We're 10-22, 32 games in. I must trade you.
I must trade you.
Like, that's it. We're fucked.
We're fucked.
Trade you.
Like, that would be the perfect clause for that Huberdeau.
The rarely seen, often talked about must trade clause.
Must trade clause.
Like, fuck.
If you're not reaching minimal expectations,
we trade you. I don't know to who.
Your salary's cut in half, and
we must trade you.
It's a must trade clause.
Trade you. The must trade clause.
The MTC. Yeah.
MTC, must trade clause. Brought to you by the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer Sports talking a whole lot more. The must trade clause.
The must trade clause.
I don't know who our dance partner is for this trade, but we must trade you.
We must trade you.
That conversation.
Well, and there'd be a pool of those like in the league. There'd be like 4 or 5 guys like in the must trade clause. Okay, so
so do they just get traded to other must trade clause guys?
You must trade them to it for another
must trade clause guy.
Yeah. So it's like it's all in like in a fishbowl, and you pick out names. Okay,
this guy for that guy and whatever.
This guy, yeah, fuck.
Just try it. He didn't work in here. Just go over there. Fuck. The must-trade clause.
Like Line and Dubois or whatever were between Columbus
just
and
that for
Winnipeg.
that. See if it works. I don't give a fuck. Whatever.
Just get him gone.
Get him out of here.
We're paying him 10 mil. We'll pay someone else 10 mil, but just no more for this guy, please.
The fans don't want him here. Your fans don't want your guy. Let's just swap it.
You're
back
clearly
and
not
forth.
happy. Let's just
both teams stink. Who cares? Must-trade clause.
The must-trade clause.
We've got to find a way to market that to the agents and get down to the GM meeting next year in Florida.
Well, the collective bargaining agreement is up in, I think, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 2 years. So, we'll send a feeler.
I don't think the PA is going to fly with that one.
But everybody's still going to get paid, right? But if it's toxic, it's toxic, and no one's happy. So, fuck, go be unhappy someplace else and see if this works.
Like you would think, again, I don't understand. I do, but I don't. I don't understand the no trade clause. Like, at what point does the fucking ownership and GM think, you know what? If this guy's not very good, why the fuck am I going to keep him around?
We've discussed it.
I'm the owner. I'm the owner. I own this team. I'm the GM. I'm the boss. Like, the only fucking sport, the only place other than unions, but even then, you file agreements on and on, you can get rid of a guy. At what point do you fucking give let the inmates run the asylum?
Well, they're not. A lot of these rules are there to protect the owners from themselves.
I know that.
And rookie things. And it's just because the owners at the end of the day are in a pissing contest. This isn't like a fundraising dinner for the Lethbridge Bulls where we serve alcohol and have a silent auction because, that's why to give. Hey, can you believe we're going to get $15,000 for that framed photo of whoever? Get a couple more whiskeys in him, and he's going to bring it up to 18.5 for sure. And then we paid. That's what it is. It's just, when it turns into a dick swinging contest with people with deep pockets, they're going to do stupid shit. And that's why all the rules are there to protect owners from themselves.
Yeah, I've always found it funny. So I just always found it funny. And then
as do I.
And even if you why would you ask for a no trade clause? Like, sometimes you're like, fuck me, this team stinks. Get me the fuck out of here. And then they can't move them because they got no trade clauses.
I do understand the limited trade clause, right? So at the beginning of the year, you give me 10 teams you don't want to go to. That I understand. I'll give you that. I don't want to. I think that's completely fair. But that's it. A limited no move or limited no trade, and I'm cool with that. But an absolute no move, fuck that. You're just saying I can do whatever I want, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then at the end of the day, with someone like this Huberto, who's going to take this fucking contract? That's why it has to be a must trade. A limited must trade.
At least you're giving the guy a chance to make his buyouts and everything else too, right? But fuck me. I don't get it. It's just that's one thing I like about the NFL on the owner side, not the way they use it. If guys underperform, they just get out.
Yeah. Here's out.
You suck. I don't care.
$150 million 7-year contract.
Yeah, we'll give
$10 million guaranteed. Yeah.
Guys think you're set for life. They buy a fucking Rolex, a Lamborghini, and a fucking shack on the lake, and they're fucking done.
Yeah, frame that contract because it's going to be a collector's item pretty quick.
You're coaching the fucking Wichita High fucking Spartans.
Yeah.
A week later.
Which and I don't agree. I wish the players.
But I like if there was a combination somehow of the two, where players had to perform to get what they're supposed to. That's I'm pro sports, not pro athlete or pro owner. there has to be a combination of two, in my opinion, to make it actually work, or else it's just you don't know what you're going to fucking get. And it's not like all athletes are shitheads. It's not like all owners are shitheads. But
and I believe all these athletes do want to perform to the expectations of their contract. But it is also a little bit eyebrow raising how, specifically in baseball and hockey, how athletes have their best year in a free agent year.
Every time.
It seems to be a little bit of a motivator. And that's just what it is. And what do you do? What do you do? It can never be a perfect system, right? No matter what occupation we may be in, you're going to have up years and you're going to have down years. People are going to have shitty years. People are going to go through slumps, right? When you're playing against and that's the thing, like you and I in our jobs, we're not competing. We're just doing what we do well. These guys are doing what they're doing well, but there's also other people who are trying to do what they do really well to prevent you from what you're doing well. There's no one preventing us from doing well. There's no one, you know what I'm saying, right? Flattening your tires in the morning to make sure you don't you show up for work on time. It's just
like for us,
sport.
It's competition every day,
right? Yeah, we're not in competition. We're just doing our thing.
Show up, do the thing.
Yeah,
right,
these guys are in competition, and so as much as I do occasionally compare it to other professions, like being a lawyer, like being a plumber, like being a pipe fitter. It's not that, because there's not someone who's getting paid as much as you to prevent you from doing your job well either. Yes. Could you imagine that in the trades? A rival electrician company coming in and fucking stealing all your pliers and wire strippers and every morning putting fucking snakes in your boots.
Well, fuck, I did that fucking French fry plant here in fucking Lethbridge. I tell you what, she was pretty cutthroat at times.
There was people putting snakes in your boots?
No, just stealing tools and equipment and things. Yeah, it was weird, but whatever.
But those are all meatheads. Like those, that's more the bench guys who can't afford their own tools.
We have to revisit this. You know what? Actually, let's reach out to Dave at Level Playing Field, because he'll listen to this. He listens to us every week, I think, and he gets a little revved up. Let's reach out to Dave tomorrow, and I want him to give him a little homework assignment over the weekend if he's up for the task. And I want him to lay out the provisions for the must trade clause, how that works, like how that's going to work in Dave Level Playing Field's world. Because I would love to hear his thought process. Like right now, Dave is probably banging his head in the dashboard of his vehicle as he listens to this a day later about the must trade clause. We should reach out to him tomorrow and talk and get him on the show for Monday nights. He wants to join us for the must trade clause.
He's always welcome, and I just wrote it down, must trade clause. Like so, like Josh Donaldson was the guy for the Yankees. Like in his Stanton is Giancarlo Stanton. Is he on the
he's must trade, but who's taking him?
Well, you got to find someone else. Fernando
Tatis eat the fucking money.
Fernando Tatis Jr. must be getting pretty close to a must-trade clause. Carlos Rendon or whatever, I tweeted him out on the
the Angels.
He's a must-trade. 38 mil. Ofer. 8 games in at 38 million. I get it. You might be going through a wee bit of a slump, but come on. Must-trade.
The must-trade clause.
The must-trade clause.
MTC. No, this is only the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. For Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. This segment is brought to you by SeatGeek.com. The SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase over there at SeatGeek. Dave, the must trade clause. Get it out there. Figure it out. We'll get Dave on the show on Monday night and talk about it.
We're here for all your collective bargaining questions.
Yeah. We are going to get one fucking, like, we're bad agents. Like, who the fuck would sign up with us idiots?
Russell Wilson, must trade clause.
So I have this deal worked into your contract. Think about this. So, okay. like they'll give you $100 million a year or $100 million 5 years, whatever it is. But they wanted to work in this little deal, and I agreed to it. That said, at any point in the season where you have like a 3-week stretch where things aren't going so well, you're included in the must trade clause. And the bonus part of this deal is they just pick names out of a hat to where you go to. No.
What's going to happen? It could happen fucking tomorrow.
Like if you had, like there's stipulations. So like it's performance based.
It would happen 3 times a year. A quarter of the season in, halfway season, and a trade deadline. That's when the fish
I can be traded 3 times. No. You can only be traded once in the must trade clause, but it could happen at any time, 3 times throughout the season.
Yeah.
What? You agree to that?
Well, you want to get paid, like don't you? You're going to get paid.
Like you're going to get your money regardless, and you might have to move your family if you play shitty, but it'll all work out in the end. Can I have my commission, please?
And you know what? Just don't play shitty.
Yeah. So like this is more on you than it is on me.
Yeah, exactly. And I got you an extra 0.75 a year for this.
Oh, the must trade clause.
The must trade clause? Oh yeah, it's brilliant, don't you think?
No.
You're fired. Well, I still get my commission check.
Well, because the contract signed, they signed it, and whatever. Fuck me.
And when you go to Cap Geek, they have the limited no trade, whatever, like the no.
Because the must trade clause would be a negative cap hit.
Yeah,
because they're just interchangeable.
They'd be the same, right? Like within 10%. Like so, if you 10, you can't get a must trade against a $4 million player. No, it has to be in the same tax bracket.
Every team has one.
Unless you're willing to eat salary. Like we're willing to eat $4 million, and then you give us a $6 million for must trade.
The must trade clause.
Oh, think about it, owners.
Van Robes and Redlinsky Sports Associates. There ain't going to be one person knocking on our fucking doors. Jesus Christ.
We're innovating, and it's only for the good of the game.
I think there might be a lot of owners calling us.
That's you bet. Idea. Like, you think, like, have you guys done the research on that? Well,
no. We made something up as we were going about 25 minutes ago.
But it sounds pretty sexy, doesn't it?
I'd
love to do that. Yeah. Like, fuck, imagine if the Denver Broncos had the must trade clause. Save them $35 million this year. Fuck, watching that smelt play for the Steelers.
The must trade clause. Courtesy of the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. 4 Beer Sports talking a whole lot more. The must trade. Fucking, and then to analyze it. Jesus Christ. Dave, what are we calling on you on Monday night?
Must trade. Must trade.
Must.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon Jerky.
Righteous Felon Jerky. Go to righteousfelon.com to get the best in craft jerky. Use promo code BELLYUP, get 15% up. They are definitely not a must trade in the jerky world. RighteousFelonJerky.com to go righteousfelon.com to get the best in craft jerky with multiple different flavors to for the summer season, trekking around and camping and everything else. Righteous Felon. Dave's a believer.
Yeah, I am. The Righteous Felon jerky product is, if you dig jerky, you'll dig this. Find your flavors. Some are better than others. Get the sampler pack and then just go fucking nuts because you'll dig it. It's not too salty. Yeah.
They are not on the must trade list of the sports world.
I just thought of this while you were playing that commercial. Milan Lucic got on the must trade clause contract. Edmonton Oilers gave Milan Lucic a must trade. And they did it with the Flames, with Real Deal Neil. who was also on the must. Like those are two
That's
guys
the
on
only
the must
trade
trade.
made in Flames Oilers history. They just went, yeah, fuck, whatever.
Fuck it. We're like, wow, we're the only two in the must trade, so like, let's fucking do this.
Fuck. For those of you who are just listening to this segment, make sure you go back and listen to the other segment. Dave and I got off air how we probably should have kept recording, but whatever. We'll get into it on Monday night, or else we won't kill it. But the must trade thing was quite funny. But anyways, that Jesus Christ, fuck, Dave. Sometimes like I've known you for the better part of 30 years, and that was one of those conversations. Like, we're fucking morons. Like, it was great. It was funny. I don't know. Like I think it's funny. And I think our friends, if we were sitting around Luke's Tavern a couple of weeks back in Colehurst, like, we would have added to that. We would have talked about that for 6 hours. I don't know. I don't know if the rest of North America was going to find it funny, but boy, oh boy, that made me laugh.
The conversation would have died, and then we would have been talking about something else. And then about 45 minutes, an hour and a half later, someone would have said, this guy for this guy.
This guy's a must trade.
Yeah, must trade.
That guy's a must trade.
Because then we would have continued on with your night, but in the back of your brain, your little gerbil wheel.
You're out having a dart in the back and whatever. And you go, should have been a must fucking trade.
Should have been a must.
That guy should have been a must fucking trade. Fucky was terrible.
They happen. I wish it was every day, not just every now and then. But that I think we found a little bit of gold there with the must trade.
We'll get on that anyways. Anyways, Dave, a couple of weeks back, I think it was last Saturday night. It was last Saturday night when the Toronto Maple Leafs went to Buffalo. Austin Matthews was on the precipice. The big word there, on the precipice of 60 goals for the season, which is unbelievable this day and age, getting 60 again. And they went to Buffalo, and it was like a home game for the Leafs. It's kind of shitty for the home team, and it's expected. I'm sure that the players understand it, but it's kind of crappy for the home team when the secondary market takes over, and all of a sudden there's more Leaf fans than there were Buffalo Sabres fans in the whatever it's called, the it used to be the Odd. That's 100 years ago in Buffalo. But it must be kind of shitty when the road team overtakes the home team in for the fan base. It was when Matthews got his 60th, that place erupted like the Buffalo Sabres won the cup.
Sorry, like the Leafs won the cup. Oh yeah, I hear what you're saying. The crowd is raucous, and we talk about rivalries. These are two franchises that are made to be rivals. It's like only an hour and a half away, playing in the same conference.
Well, if you're in Niagara Falls, you're what, 40 minutes away?
Yeah. Well, it's I actually looked it up on the Google Maps, and it's 90 minutes. 90 minutes door to door, obviously, depending on where you are. And if you're driving at night, it's not going to be a ton of traffic. And all the traffic is going to be going, just follow the taillights to Buffalo. Yeah. And you can follow the taillights home. And it's like we say, too, for getting tickets. It's a tenth of the price. From what I read, a lot of the season ticket holders, because they are in the same division, they sell their tickets to the Toronto guys for all the home games, for the 4 games that they're in Buffalo, pays for their season tickets. It's so fucking cheap. Whereas Toronto, you got to give a kidney or be the son of a king to be able to afford a ticket there in Toronto. And then it's all suits and it's quiet. We're in Buffalo. It's fucking loud and raucous, and people are Toronto fans are probably putting each other through tables in the fucking Buffalo parking lot before a Sabres game.
You got to think a little bit. The Leafs fan or the Leaf players, sorry, the Leaf players must be like. Because Leaf fans, like when the game gets going and it gets going, like in Toronto, probably like if you're a hockey player playing in Toronto, if you were to win one, we've talked about it before, they'll name streets after you, name schools after you. But during the season, sometimes it's a little bit in the first 8 to 9 minutes because everybody's in the fucking down the concourse getting drinks and schmooze, and it's highfalutin people with that aren't. I don't want to say they're not hockey fans, but they're not. That's not the reason why they're there, right? Whereas like when they went to Buffalo and that place is rocking, you seen the Leafs kind of pick it up a little bit, and they were going a little bit and Matthews got that goal, he was pumping to the crowd, and like for a Leafs player, they must be like, why can't we always have this? And let's not just talk Leafs, but like, there's other teams that do it too. But let's just we start with the Leafs. Like there's got to be a little bit of a thought out in between periods, thinking, why can't our fans be like this? Because it's the same fans, but why can't our fans be like this?
The fans in the building be as appreciative and loud, like as you say, as opposed to schmoozing and boozing, right? And talking and being there for the event as opposed to being there to be a fan. I think it's a huge thing, and they talk about it. Like I've once again, the Barnburner podcast is the one I listen to that they talk about it. And with Brett Warner being an ex-player, it's just the Leafs. They draw like crazy on the road because they're original six, and it's kind of them and the Canadians, the Habs are the
Leaf
two
fans
Canadian
everywhere.
Teams. There's Leaf fans everywhere, and
like
apparently
Cowboy fans, and there's like Yankee fans, and it's on and on it goes.
And in Florida, he goes when the Leafs are in Florida, it's all Leaf fans. When the Leafs are in Arizona,
there's a reason why around Christmas time they go down to fucking Florida, because all the snowbirds are down there and they pack the place.
Yeah, so it's a thing, and I don't know, what do you do? I understand that money makes that greases all the wheels, and that's just what happens. But like as a franchise like Buffalo, like, are you pissed or are you happy? Are you pissed that Toronto is now the Leaf fan is taking over your building? Or are you happy because you're making a lot of money because Toronto? I can only imagine. I would guess probably a third to 2/3 of those fans that are driving to Buffalo are going to make a night of it. So they're staying in a hotel, they're buying a couple meals, they're doing whatever. That's a massive economic impact on the community. And that's good. But then do you tell your fan base, no, you're not allowed to resell to anyone from the Toronto district? Like, I've read that many times where
different sports, it happens
different
a lot.
Sports,
you can't wear your jersey if on and on it goes. Yeah.
So what do you do? Like, and even though I think it was about a month ago I sent you this thing. I think it was directed at Bills fan in particular. If you're going to resell your tickets, you have to buy a $5,000 New York license reselling ticket. Whatever. That's just garbage, right? It's just, it's not the fans' fault that they want to support a shitty team, and also it's not the fans' fault if they want to.
Why should a fan be forced to watch a shitty team?
Yeah, exactly. Are you going to give me $50 back when Minnesota or Arizona is in town? Like, fuck. Like, I can't give these fucking tickets away.
Because that's the thing. Like, when you go to like, now they have these premier games or elite games, whatever they call them, where like, it's like in baseball, like when Yankee centric, but like when the Yankees go to Seattle, that's a premier game, as opposed to when Kansas City goes to Seattle, or when the Jays go to Seattle, because we'll get to that in half a second. When the Jays go to Seattle, those tickets cost more. Well, it's the same fucking game. It's the same game. You can't guarantee, like right now the Jays are what, 2-5, 2-6, whatever it might be. They got 2 hits in the last 3 days. Like in the last 3 days, they actually have 2 hits. So why is that an elite game? It's not. Like right now, that's probably going to be a shitty fucking baseball game if you go by what the stats say, right? But because Vancouver's right there and we're doing the thing with the Bulls, or the people on and on it goes, the tickets are more expensive for that game than they are for when like I said, the Royals go to Seattle.
But that's just for singles, right? If you buy your season ticket package, you buy you buy all 81, right?
Yeah.
But as a package for that game, like you say, like when the Angels are in town to see Mike Trout and Carlos Rendon, that's $20. But no, the Jays are in town, so now we're gonna charge $35 for those seats.
That same seat is twice as much because
the demand's higher.
It's a demand's higher, and that's not right. That's not right.
I completely agree with that. I don't know.
Game's a game. Because how many, like, I wish I did a little more research, but that's not our strong suit here in the 1420 podcast. But I wish, like, how many no-hitters happened or perfect games happened out of nowhere, where a game that meant absolutely nothing to anybody on a Saturday afternoon. Well, when David Cone got his against the Expos, it was Yogi Berra Day, but it was the Expos, right? So you're like, that game meant nothing. Or it was a Sunday, but there's games where you go like, it means nothing. But every game has the opportunity to be something. So you shouldn't upsell just because. And how much more money do you fucking guys need? Like how much, I will never understand why ticket prices get so high when they don't need to.
It's kind of like when we were talking the other day about how professional sports now have gotten into bed with gambling because other people were making money on their sport. This is now Major League Baseball, in this case, saying to SeatGeek, no, like you guys can't have that money. We're going to have that. We got first crack at that premium money because we know this is going to be a big game. And that's what it is. They just can't. They look to see, instead of doing stuff better themselves, they're looking to see how other people are making a buck on their game and saying, okay, we're going to take that money back, as opposed to actually making more money for everybody in the first place. Like Oakland, having a better product, figuring out a fucking stadium deal. Like Arizona, having a better product, figuring out a fucking stadium deal. Like these are all things that owners should be doing to make their team better for a better fan experience, as opposed to now, I would imagine this Mellon Arena in Arizona, they're charging exorbitant ticket prices, but then they're pissed because SeatGeek's making a buck because it's such a prime ticket now. It's not a prime ticket because your product's good. It's a prime ticket because the Snowbirds are coming down there and wanting to see their fucking team in a $3,000 arena, in a 3,000 seat arena. Like, figure out your own fucking problems. You start price gouging on the easy things. Like Toronto, you've done nothing to your product to warrant charging more. It just happens to be the Yankees are town. It just happens to be the Blue Jays in town. So these are owners, once again, just being money hungry bitches, looking to gouge the fans a little bit more and taking money away from somebody else that has figured out a niche to make a better dime than you are.
And that's the thing is, Dave, you're not losing money by any means by just keeping what the prices are throughout the season. You're not losing money. Like if the Yankees don't need to charge fucking $100 for a fucking $50 seat because it's the Red Sox. Because that rivalry's dead. Not dead, but it's over. Like, you don't need to charge $100 for a $50 seat when whoever's in town. You're going to make that money no matter what. Like, don't factor that into your budget. And it pisses me off. These fucking these ownership groups keep doing this. Like, it's just, and then they wonder why and actually, my brother sent me a message the other day. He goes, he would listen once in a while. He's a busy guy now, so got shit going. I got a funny story about his Victoria Harbor cuts a little later on, but he's like, fan bases don't give a fuck until a team leaves or they start doing shitty or ticket prices go up. If fan bases would just be like this on the level all the time, things would stay on the level, but owners take drastic measures, and not the Yankees and the Leafs, but ownership groups take drastic measures once money starts hemorrhaging a little bit. They try to do different things, and then fan base get crazy, and it goes nuts. it's odd. The whole ownership relationship with fan bases, it's weird. It's really weird.
It is weird. It's kind of funny. As we're talking here, I'm watching a hockey game on the side. It's the LA Kings are in San Jose. Remember that year way back? It was San Jose against LA, and San Jose went up 3-1. And Quick went along the bench. I'll be better next game. I'll be better next game. And they end up coming back and winning the cup. So I'm watching this game right now. I would say 20%. The lower bowl, there's a ton of fans dressed as seats. It's ridiculous. Yeah. There's more seats than there are fans. And this is a rivalry game, but not anymore. And maybe it's because it's San Jose is so bad, and maybe it's because it's not San Jose. I don't know. I do know that they had great crowds with Jumbo Joe and Marlo back
forever.
Yes, but
now the problem San Jose has is they licked the jar for a long time and didn't do fuck all with it.
They don't know lean years. Yes,
and then they have to rebuild because they kept trading and getting guys and didn't do fuck all with it. So now you're going to be bad.
Right.
And now nobody ever goes to watch a team lose unless you're a diehard.
But Seattle was that for a while, and Seattle now does have a decent team. I'm talking about the Mariners now. So when's the premium game? Like, what happens if the Jays are in the last week of the season when Seattle's been out of it since fucking, I don't know, June? If you're like, are they? I guess, right? So why would you buy a ticket and just wait and wait?
Seattle's a premium game for Toronto, but Toronto's a premium game for Seattle.
Correct. Right. It's your
other way around.
Yeah. Seattle, because like Vancouver is
right there.
Is right there. I know 15 people that are going to that game already. Like that weekend series, they put it on July long weekend. So it's going to be
on and on it goes.
Yeah, Canada Day so it's perfect. It's the perfect. Major League Baseball almost shouldn't give it because that's a fucking layup. Putting the Jays in Seattle on Canada Day, fuck, that is a layup. That's going to be a full blown crowd.
Yeah, it's you just. You wonder why, like these owners are fucking fucking gajillionaires, and especially in Toronto, like money to fucking burn. And we talked about a few weeks ago with the Oilers raising their playoff prices. Like, why?
Yep. It's it's always about the Benjamin. But
is that 200 grand gonna make or break your fucking life?
Well, it's all about the bottom line and stock options and buybacks, and I don't fucking a lot of shit I don't get, and it's just. It's sports is a business, and we hear this all the time from players, from coaches, from owners, from agents, but really, like, you're gonna nickel and dime. You're already a billionaire. You're gonna nickel and dime the people that gets you through game 1 to 82, not game 1 to 82, from game 10 to 75, because those
game 1 through 10. Make as much as you can. In baseball, yep. I get it. Like the first 3 series, load the place up.
Yeah,
I get it. But then just let people come and go, whatever, and have a good time. And then the last 3 games of the season, if your team's in a playoff hunt, jack it up. Right on. I get it.
That would be an interesting thing to see a baseball team market their ticket pricing about how many games we are out of first. 5 games out of first, between five games, and then it's just regular pricing. If we're more than 10 games, 10% off. If we're more than 15 games, 50% off.
We may be
The smartest two motherfuckers.
The worst two sports executives in the history of sports radio.
How else do you make fans? At the end of the day, fans, baseball's killing itself. Find a way to get asses in the seats. Find a way. Find a fucking way. And this is me a fine, like, fucking, and then all of a sudden, you know what? Owners are going to care and they're going to put a better product. Like, fuck, we can't have another 10% Tuesday or whatever, 2% or half price Tuesday.
So who do you blame? The manager or the fucking? Do you blame the manager, the pitching staff, the coach,
I blame it all.
All of a sudden you're 15 games below 500. And you promise your fan base $2 Tuesdays, and then you still got to pay your salary, man.
Well, but then you're selling more hot dogs. This is just to get your ass in the seat.
You got to sell a lot of hot dogs to pay Shohei Ohtani $70 million.
No, but you're already paying him $70 million, right? This is just to get asses in the seat.
They factor in. They factor in how many hot dogs. It's obviously people don't at us. They don't factor in Shohei Ohtani's salary with how many hot dogs the Dodgers sell. You
sell a lot more hot dogs to 15,000 people than you do 5,000.
Oh yeah,
and that's my point, right? We're here to be competitive. We want to be competitive. And and there's a ceiling, and so and then maybe it doesn't get worse. And then I'm just talking about seat prices. The shittier we are, the cheaper it is to watch. Because you know what? The product we're delivering to you now ain't worth shit.
Especially early in the year when it's cold outside and everything else, it's like the place is empty. You get opening, like tomorrow, Yankee Stadium opening day. They're playing the Jays. I haven't checked the weather. It'll be packed. Sunday afternoon, probably not.
Yeah, unless it's sunny. But
there's
that. What gloves
isn't there that eclipse or something rolling through?
Not during the day. I guess it is a solar eclipse coming up. Yeah, I was thinking. I just read an article about a lunar eclipse. When
the moon covers the sun at night, I wouldn't know
because I'm in bed dark. And it's already dark. Yeah.
I'm not a scientist. I just play one on TV.
No, this is grand idea number 2. Major League Baseball should institute it. However many
prices should be based on how
many
far
games
up or down you are above 500.
Yeah, and so what else?
Not how many games back, because you can't control how the other team is doing. Like if the other team is up, the other team goes on a heater and is fucking, and all of a sudden you're fucking 18 games back because the Dodgers are, and you're in the American League or National League West. The Dodgers are 38-2. Obviously, they're not, but you can't control that.
So you're saying that would be unfair to the teams in the NL
West.
Where
you are above 500.
Above 500. Okay, that's fair enough. Well,
if you're at 500, this is what your base tickets are where the season started.
Okay,
this is ridiculous. And then for every 2 games you go above 500, you can raise your ticket prices up $5.
How's this sound? As opposed to in your division, how many games you're back of the last wild card spot?
Yeah, playoff bound, even better.
Yeah. So just like your last wild card spot, if you're you could be.
But 500 usually is right there. You're in wild card contention.
Exactly. Yeah. So like anyone that wants to phone it in, like the fucking Marlins, fuck that fucking franchise. Like that,
they're struggling a little bit right now.
Oh Jesus! And remember who's our man?
There's a reason why.
Hair.
There's a reason why Derek Sanderson Jeter said, "I'm out."
Yeah. There has to be. Well, you can only spend someone else's money for so long.
That's right.
Yeah. And Jazz Chisholm, is that guy still tearing it up, stealing bases? fucking hitting doubles. I don't know, with his blue hair.
Probably not. They're
running
0-7 to start the season off.
You know, you can score 1 run in 27 innings and still be 3-4 like the Jays, or you can be over. And
so must trade clause and ticket prices based on your
games
record.
Behind wild card. Yes. Yeah.
And if you're below 500, ticket prices have to go down $2 per game for what it started off on the regular on opening day.
I don't mind dictating that.
So if a bleacher seat at Wrigley was $30 on opening day, if they drop below 500, it's 28, 26, 24, whatever it might be.
Yeah. What for? How many games you want under 500?
To a minimum or minimum dollar value of $15.
$10.
10
for the 10 for the bleachers. It depends
$10.
what level. So yeah. So here it is. So like for third level, it's times 3. So if you're 2 games under 500, you want a third level ticket, 2 times 3, $6 off. Second level, 2 times 3, $6 off.
I think we're onto something here.
I think we are. You know, and this
There's
is going
a
to put
good chance we're not getting hired, but it's, you know.
Well, do you want asses in the stands? Do you want a buzz? You know, let's create a buzz.
And you can't raise the prices of your concessions. They have to stay the same.
For sure. And we're not asking for any kind of concessions, beer,
and we'll have
popcorn.
auditors throughout the league checking your concession prices. If you put your shitty ass nachos up $2 to get to make up for your lack of ticket price or ticket costs, I'm going to fine you $1 million.
At least, right?
We got to start we got to start holding the owners and the players accountable.
That's what we're here for. We want to have an equitable product.
We're here for the fan.
Teams. We want the players to try, and we want the owners to try. And when did that become bad? You know, and Oakland A's, your ownership.
Did you see that pamphlet?
Fucking thing where they said like don't push anything with Oakland? What a bunch of fucking trash. Fuck, they're trash. And their tickets should be fucking free because like they're already 5 games behind, and
they're 5 games behind the Lethbridge Bulls for fuck's sake right now. We don't have a roster set yet for fuck's sakes.
Oh Jesus Christ! Major League Baseball. You know what is a bigger gong show? The Oakland A's or the Arizona Coyotes?
The A's.
I think that's
fuck. That's
well, they have it. Yeah, it is. We don't have to talk about that right now.
A's kind of sort of have a plan. They're going to Sacramento next year. That was announced today. The Coyotes haven't had a plan in 25 years.
Well, yeah, they've had the A's have had one ownership group that have totally drove this into the ground. Whereas Arizona has had 5, 6, 7 ownership groups.
They've had 9. They've had 9 ex-boyfriends. It hasn't worked out.
It's like fucking what's her name, Liz Taylor. They were so sexy when they got to town, but like my husband number 7 now, like you're just fucking tired and old and not good looking anymore.
Phoenix Coyotes had 9 ex-boyfriends. Like,
oh God.
She's nice, but she's just no one wants to date her for some reason.
And you can't find what you're looking for, and we can't make each other happy. All she wants is happiness. Is that so wrong?
Does she?
I don't know.
I don't think
does she? Well, she's dead, but like I don't know if she knew what happiness was.
Well, that's another podcast for another podcast.
Yeah. Anyways, we need a quick break. I gotta see a man about a horse.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for beer sports talk and a whole lot more. This segment is brought to you by righteousfelon.com and Righteous Felon Jerky. Use promo code BELLYUP at righteousfelon.com for 15% off. The best in craft jerky in the land.
Are you thinking of going to a game or a concert in the coming days ahead, or do you already have tickets and want to upgrade where you're sitting? It's simple. Go to SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. They have tickets for all sports going on right now, as well as concert tickets to shows throughout North America. And to make things even better, use promo code 1420POD, that's 1420POD, and receive $20 off your first purchase. Once again, that's promo code 1420POD at SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for beer sports talk and a whole lot more. This segment is brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420POD at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Dave, we're going to put our sports executive hats away for the rest of the night. I think we're the smartest guys in sports, but we'll see how the masses respond to this tomorrow. But one of my favorite segments, you started this about 2.5-3 years ago. A would you rather, and then a new addition is a little bit of a music touch, because we're both music connoisseurs.
We are. We like, just listen to us. We'll tell you what we like. And then if you're in the car with us, you're going to hear what we like. But nonetheless, we're going to start with a would you rather tonight. We're going to put the visit vacation on the back burner. With the NHL season coming to a close, there's a lot of teams that are out, including, we talked about it, like the Flames and that kind of thing. So obviously your team that you're playing for can't win every year. They can't make the playoffs every year. So this is a two-parter. So first of all, as a player, and then second of all, as a fan, would you rather have your team out of playoff contention on January 1st or with 10 games left in the season?
January 1st.
Just as a player and as a fan?
As a fan, January 1st, I'd like to, it's over. Like, we're not doing fuck all. And if you're out, that's a trick question. If you're out, no, because teams do it. Because we talked a few weeks back about the Nashville Predators, who found themselves like they got their dink slapped for it and couldn't go to the Sphere, and all of a sudden they're everybody's talking about them being the darlings of the National Hockey League. You know what? I'd rather my team stay in as long as they could, because once you get into the playoffs, you just never know. When you're out January 10th or let's say July 10th for baseball, or if week 8 of the football season, when your team's out, you lose interest. You don't give a fuck. So I would way rather my team at least give me a fucking puncher's chance late in the year. And so because then you stay interested, because that's what you do, right? And making the playoffs doesn't automatically give you a chance to win anything, but it gives you a chance to win something, right? Because if you don't have a chance to do it, like, then what the fuck's the point?
You know, and then and as a fan too, when it's like in hockey, right? Or it's the shittier your team does. If we're not going to win it at all, we might as well get a good draft pick. If we're not, but obviously you want your team to make the playoffs. You want your team to do this. You want your team to do that. But if you don't have a realistic chance of going all the way, it's almost, then let's just fucking suck and get a good.
I'm different, man. I could give a fiddler's fuck who the next fucking coming of whoever is. See, that's what me and you are different. Like you want a must trade. You want a this. See, I don't give a fuck who the future is. I don't care. I think prospects are bullshit.
I do agree with you, and you got to put a lot of
prospects are bullshit. They're one night away from having a fucking cocaine addiction and a fucking rape charge. Like it's fucking.
You're right. You are rolling the dice, and the way you put it there, like I can't argue with that logic. Why wouldn't you play and win every game? But with the understanding that teams go through cycles and up and down, and you have to build and you have to do this, and you have to have trust in the management. Excuse me, to put a product on the ice that actually has a chance of potentially winning a cup or a World Series for you.
Because in 97 and 98, Dave, when we first met back then, also we became kindred spirits of sorts with the Oilers, and all of a sudden they won a round 2 years in a row. Like, this is fucking awesome. High fives, bum slaps. It was great. That was way better than saying, you know what? Fuck, we don't have a chance.
You know what? You're exactly right. You know, and I'm glad you brought me back to my youth, our youth with that one, because I don't think there was
those teams had no reason to be involved with one of the Dallas Stars when Todd Marchant scored in overtime in Game 7, and then the next year when fucking it was when they beat Colorado. They had no business, but you know what? That was fun.
We were fucking there for it. And we enjoyed every millisecond of every single game with no expectations of winning the cup. But the teams we went and watched, they were better than the team that actually did go to the cup with Pisani and Morrow and Potty and Dwayne Rollison. Like, that was, I couldn't believe that fucking team made that run.
No, I'd way rather my team give it a shot to the fucking to 10 games left in regular season. If they don't make it, well, at least they gave it a shot.
Yeah.
If I'm mailing it in at fucking on January 10th or May 10th or June 10th or football season in fucking October 10th, what the fuck's the point?
You know, and I guess, too, like, the Oilers, like, we were a little bit spoiled with that Oilers team, those Oilers teams back in the day, where they actually did win a round and they actually were competitive. They never won 2 rounds. But they did. They did win that first round as underdogs, and it was a fucking blast.
You know what's worse? Like, it's worse. In 2017 is one of my favorite years as a Yankee fan, even when they won World Series. That team was expected to go nowhere. And then Judge came out of nowhere. There was the first year of Didi and after the Jeter stuff, on and on it went.
Isn't that with Girardi and the Indians when they it was that year? Okay.
And they should have went to the World, or they should have went the World Series, but the Astros cheated, but that doesn't matter. But that season was so unexpectedly fun. And I was so invested in that season because I went there a couple times that year, and that was so fun. When your team isn't expected to win,
the little team that could,
and they almost get there. And I don't care if it's the Yankees, if it was the fucking chat.
But it was your team, and that makes sense. Team. Yeah.
And that was so fun. When your team has a chance to win, there's nothing better. And as a Bronco fan, you felt it when your team actually has a chance. Like when your team's in the playoffs, like because football's different, obviously, because it's just one game. But when your team actually can make the playoffs, because you never know. When your team has a chance to win, there's no better feeling. Well, there's a few, but
belief is a powerful thing as a fan. Like, we're fucked. We're fucked. Like, I don't know, poor Aaron. I don't know how he gets through his day as a sports fan. We're fucked. They suck. We're gonna lose. Like, come on, Aaron. Like,
yeah, Aaron's a very negative fella.
The glass is half full. You're an Oriole fan and you're an Eagle fan. These are teams that have chances of winning. Yes. Penn State, well, fuck. You can be down on those fuckers because
fuck Penn State.
Because fuck Penn State. Your pro sports in Major League Baseball, Orioles, Phillies, and Eagles are his teams. Fuck, you could do a lot fucking worse, brother. You can do a lot, brother, fucking worse. So enjoy the success, and if it works out, we're here for you. If it's not, fuck, must trade.
Must trade clause. MTC.
So how about as a player, though? So as a fan, we've answered that. So as a player, would you rather be playing out the stretch 2/3 through the season, or work hard to not make it on game 76?
How far out are you at Christmas time?
Well, you have a chance. Like, well, if you're at Christmas time, you're out. You're fucking Chicago, you're Anaheim, or whatever. But now, would you rather be would you rather be the San Jose Sharks right now, or would you rather be one of three teams, Philly, the Caps, or whoever else?
Dave, this one's fucking tough, man. Because human beings are inherently lazy. Not all, but most.
Because so I'm just going to say this now, because the Phillies been in a playoff season all year. They may or may not win, make the playoffs, but they ain't. There is no fucking way. Oh, so like Philly, Caps, and Detroit. There ain't no fucking way one of those three teams is going to win the cup.
Lord Stanley's Cup.
Zero chance. This isn't the Blues of 2019.
Oh fuck! This is a tough question. The thing is that
as a professional,
you know what? Because you want that hair skate fucking warm up the whole bit and the national anthem and everything else as an athlete. But getting your ass handed to you 4 straight when you end up playing fucking Tampa.
Or the Rangers or Tampa or Boston,
and having Stamkos and fucking Kuznetsov and whoever the fuck skating all over your fucking face. You know what? In hockey and baseball, I would rather not be the 8 to play the 1 or whatever it might be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get wiped up, man. Like, making the playoffs is fine. Yeah, you made it. But getting your face stomped on, no thanks.
Yeah, in front of a national audience.
Yeah.
And then just
because I haven't seen one Detroit Red Wings game this season. If they go and play fucking Tampa and fucking Kucherov, I say Kuznetsov. But if Kucherov goes and scores fucking 18 points on you in 4 games, no thanks.
And then you said you gets a little chippy because you're getting your ass handed to you in game 3, and then Matt Rempel comes in and beats the shit out of your tough guy.
Fuck no, I'm good.
That's just enough. Fuck, do we even have to play
as a player?
I'd
rather not. We're not beating these guys. I've already been on Expedia. It's all charged up. I'm good. I'm leaving.
It was funny, and then
it'll be even worse if you have your trip booked, blah blah blah, and then somehow you win a game. Fuck.
Well,
son of a bitch, right?
Well,
it's not like these guys are fucking starving, but all of a sudden you got delayed for one more day and the travel. So now the wife's mad at you because you fucking.
Well, go with the kids.
I got to make all these travel changes.
Well, and then
sorry.
Well, they have a system.
I'm sorry, honey. We won a game.
You think that happens because the players obviously have the franchises and teams have staff members that can help the players do whatever they
But
want,
that's
like
a
with travel.
spicy meatball, man.
And then the GM comes or the owner comes, who's coming to you with travel arrangements? I thought we weren't allowed. Who the fuck has come? Who's booked flights for April 2nd? Right?
I was listening to Overdrive this week. Doesn't matter. Last week, I think it was Ray Ferraro when he was playing in Hartford. He says this is back when travel agents were a thing. And Ferraro's from Trail, BC. So this is a funny story.
He smoke eater.
He said, yeah, he was. And he said, I went to the travel agent in Hartford. And I saw, he looked up, like the travel agent went around to get a file. He saw that one of his teammates' name's file was on the desk. So, and he said they were 8 points out with 6 games left. I said, and it was open. It said they were going to Disney World. And they ended up making the playoffs. It ended up costing this fucking guy $10,000. And that's back when they weren't making any money back then to reschedule, rebook, and
cancellation fees.
And Ferraro said he was skating around not warm up, but game day skate. He goes, "Aren't you supposed to be in Disney World right now?" And the fucking his teammate goes, "Fuck off." It's one of those stories. One of those stories, like just.
It's funny. There's stories like that all over the place.
$300,000 a year, or whatever it was, right? So,
yeah,
it's just funny. No, that's funny. Yeah, I'd rather
know where my intentions. I'd rather know I missed the playoffs in January than know I missed the playoffs six days before the end of the season.
I'd rather win the second round or win a round than not make the playoffs in January.
Yes.
Makes sense?
Yeah. Because, like whoever
wins, I want to do it.
Whoever wins that 8 seed, I get it. Florida did it last year and they found lightning in a bottle. But that's not going to happen this year. Like that Frank Severelli that comes on with the barn burner, they said I'm
not big on him.
Oh, I find him hilarious. I like him a lot.
I don't know what it is.
And then but nonetheless, they said this is the race for the final playoff spot in the East is a pillow fight. He goes, well, you might I wouldn't call it a pillow fight because some pillow fights are entertaining. I thought that was a pretty funny line. Like it's off, like it's brutal between Philly and Detroit.
Well, because
even Washington,
even Torch this week said these aren't trying. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like one of those 3 teams is going to get that 8th seed, and it's like well, you take it. No, you take it. No, you take it.
That series will go 3. They won't even show up for the 4th game.
Jesus,
where's the white towel?
Yeah,
fucking.
And then and they're going to play
Roger
your Boston or the Rage. Yeah. They're just gonna come and slam you, but nonetheless, let's go to our music section. I've brought it back for you. I'm being the hair metal guy you are, and then like even on Monday, I felt bad for you having to listen to John Denver at the end of things there, even though "Take Me Home, Country Roads" is a classic tune that everybody loves. I want to know what you would rather have Jim bring us out on. Nothing but a good time.
Yep, done. Good night. Have a good night, folks.
Round and Round by Rat. I think Round and Round by Rat could be the originator of the hair metals.
Round and Round came out in 1983 Under the Cellar. Stephen Percy.
No, 83? No, I think it was 86. No, you're right. No, you're right. Because you are right.
Stephen Percy from San Diego, California. I shouldn't know this, but I do. Got their big start at the Whiskey A Go-Go on the Sunset Strip, which I've been to a couple of times. But anyways, enough of my DJ voice. Round and Round was a really good tune. And
And
that's one of the ones on AM 106 back in 1983 when I was 9 years old. That was one of those ones that you're like, all right, I like this.
and around.
What goes around comes around. Yeah. And
Out in the streets.
That's where we'll meet. And my sister, she used to buy those rock magazines and cut them all out and put them up on her wall.
Circus or whatever it was. Yeah.
She used to put them up on her wall with Stephen Piercy. Geez, that's a good tune. And Nothing But a Good Time. Oh man, that's a good tune. I like that tune a lot.
I listened to those craft sports guys today too, and they were talking about something totally different. But Rat walked so Poison could run. Rat was an innovator.
Is that what they said?
Well, not about Rat. They were talking about something totally different. But I Poison was when we were I was like 19, 20. Rat was when I was 14. Rat was probably
Rat when I was 9, 10 years old, and Poison when I was starting to get into her. Like when I wouldn't mind stealing a beer out of someone's fucking closet, right? You know what I mean?
I don't know if Rat. I don't know if they were assholes or not like that, but I think Rat actually deserves a little bit of credit.
You know what?
For being an innovator there.
You know what? I will actually give Rat. I like the song Nothing But a Good Time more, but I will give Round and Round Rat the fucking 1420 seal of approval for the reason why I like hair metal today, because they actually, it was loud and proud and giver. I will go this time tonight. I will go round and round. Rat, Stephen Piercy, take us out, Jim, with Round and Round with Rat over Nothing But a Good Time. Poison.
That's great. I was hoping you were going that way because, like I said, I think Rat were innovators, and they couldn't follow. They never did follow up. I don't know another tune by Rat.
Well, there was a few.
Okay,
but
I'll believe you.
Yeah,
Anyways,
Dave, that was fun.
We had a good show tonight. I thought we hit on some really entertaining
I don't know
alternatives to what we think should happen in the next collective bargaining agreement.
I don't know why I even do pre-show notes anymore, because it just turns into whatever. That's good.
That's why we're here. That's why it's bar talk.
Entertain the masses.
That's all we can do. That's all we can do.
Are you going to reach out to Little Plainfield Dave, or should I?
Oh, no, I'll DM him. I have no problems DMing him. I was one of when we did our little show at Christmas there, and it was one of the hilarious when I laughed at him for picking Pittsburgh as a thing. Do you remember that? When I laughed so hard, I almost pooped my pants.
Yeah,
I love laughing.
We should have a little collaboration show one of these days with some of our podcast friends and have some laughs.
I love laughing.
Bring the spring in, let the sun shine in, face it with a grin.
I don't know where you get those rhymes, but I'm in for it all.
Smilers never lose. Frowners never from Rat. I didn't.
Smilers never win. Like I was going to say, that doesn't sound like a Rat song.
Anyways, no, that's it, Dave. We'll call her weekend. What are you doing this weekend? What's going on? What's happening?
Well, the boy was going to have some ball, but now he's not. He's just going to practice inside on Saturday. Just going to fucking hang out. Hopefully, it's kind of nice enough to get some summer stuff ready. How about yourself?
I'm praying to the good Lord above that it snows about 6 more inches tonight. I love it. I love baseball, but I wouldn't mind a weekend away from baseball.
On that note, like, so the PBA was going to host. Where's the visiting team from?
Calgary.
Oh, so that's a bus ride, right? Whereas, like last year at this time, I watched you and the team was from Ottawa. That would be a drag.
Yeah, it's from just Calgary. And then
Oh,
next
okay.
weekend's Edmonton, and
Oh, okay. But because as a parent, coming to see my fucking kid play halfway across the country and it's snow on the ground.
I love baseball. I hope I'm umpiring on Saturday.
I'd be disappointed.
I want to watch the Yankees, Jays, sit down here in the tavern, watch a game, have some beers, and have a good time.
Yeah, it sounds like a good thing to do. Let's be in touch. And maybe is there a matinee this weekend?
Yes.
I'm not gonna come over at night, but I might come over for a matinee.
Come have some
And
beers.
also, Brad Gusho is fucking killing it in the World Curling Championship too.
I didn't know it was happening.
In Lausanne, Switzerland.
MTC, what else tonight? Must-trade clause?
Must-trade clause and
Discount tickets?
reduced ticket. The better they play, the closer you get to par.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer Sports Talk and a whole lot more. Take care of each other, but more importantly, take care of yourself. Can you stick on the ice or else, Dave?
No swinging at high pitches, Jim.
Round and round, Jim. Round
and round.
There we
What
go.
goes around comes around.
I tell you why. Why? Have a good night, folks. We'll talk to you on Monday night.
We're all about innovating. Have a good night,
Innovators.
everybody.
Innovators.
Innovators. Thinking outside the box. If there was ever a box.
Yes.
Have a good night.